There is definitely something going on with the hurricane. Um, we will watch it now, but I mean, I know that is. I mean, this could have the same effect as Katrina did back in the days. And okay, let's watch it and then.
A mass exodus, frantic, the fearful flocking, the wise with them. No gas, all brakes. We have a very stressful, potentially dangerous situation unfolding here in the Tampa Bay area. This is St. Petersburg, and what you're looking at is just a little bit of a slice of the mass amount of people trying to evacuate.
No, like I'm a European, I don't understand this because in Europe it doesn't actually happen. I don't think last time something like this happens, I don't think we don't have hurricanes, but I'm thinking like in my mind, if there was ever something else similar to this, right? Similar to like a seasonal hurricane in like Germany or France, and I don't think it exists. This might be one of the reasons why Europe has found success in the world, right? Meaning it doesn't have too many issues in the continent, like a dangerous every year issue like in the US. Yeah, but US thrived in it as well. But I'm thinking if there is ever something like this in Europe, like seasonally or every 10 years, right? Katrina was back in the day, this is now, but it happens like on a cycle, right? I know though that in Europe it exists things like volcanoes or sometimes earthquakes that causes a lot of damage, but we don't experience things like this. The only time I have experienced something like this was during COVID, where something hit and you felt it. So what I mean by this is like the way you feel it in the air. You know what I mean? That something is happening. And in Europe, it happened through my lifetime only that day, and on 9/11 for other reasons, right? Because we thought that war was happening, but
Evacuate out of the
nothing
Tampa Bay
that you
area.
have to go
All
into
of the
all,
arterial roads, the interstates, the main
nothing in the autobahn that for people standing for miles and miles to flee from from a place, you know.
highways
That no.
out of Tampa Bay are jam-packed as people are fleeing. They're trying to escape the path of Hurricane Milton. And what they're coming across are gas stations like this, closed. They do not have gas left. And so these pumps have all been
That's
wrapped
crazy.
with saran wrap. What that does, it helps protect the screens, the electronics from hurricane force-driven rain. They also even have the nozzles zip tied to the machine so they don't flop around in the winds as well. But these are wrapped a day and a half before likely any impacts from Hurricane Milton that could be felt here in St. Petersburg, because the folks here at the gas station say that they don't expect any more gas being delivered here ahead of the hurricane.
I'll leave at 2:30 in the morning. I'll leave at 2:33 in the morning because all this will kind of die down, but we don't have diesel. So every time I come down here, we already kind of know because we do so much cat work. I normally travel with at least 20 gallons. I brought this from Atlanta. I didn't just try to hoard gas.
Yeah.
So we always come down with at least enough diesel to get back home, or at least to get back over the line, no matter where it is.
Among the masses moving out, the contractors who rushed in to help rebuild after Hurricane Helene
A total mess. Can't believe I'm showing it to you. Normally it's really organized.
are packing up too. When they return, they'll face an even bigger mess.
Just go ahead and evacuate to something higher above sea level. It's the best thing that you can do right now.
Same nightmare, new storm. Milton's bearing down, forcing millions.
Okay, can I ask something to the Americans actually? This is a very good question that came into my mind now, but I had it always in my mind. Why do you build houses in woods? Like with the wood, right? In Europe, they build it with cement. Would that not withstand tornadoes and hurricanes much better? So why is that here that we don't have these natural disasters, we always build with cement and like proper building materials, and the US not? And it might, and I'm not saying this like, oh, Europe better. No, it's just like a regular question. Why? Like, isn't it more logical to build like more solid structure where there is like a 200 miles an hour wind? You know what I mean? Like, I have no idea why that is the case. I read some time ago that is because the wood is more available and it's cheaper to build with that. But I mean, if you have to all the time rebuild the house because a tornado or a hurricane just fucking destroyed it, wouldn't it be better to spend once and never again? I don't know. I'm just really like I don't know.
Means to ask themselves the
Yeah.
ultimate question: stay or go? It's not as obvious as you might expect.
No, I would rather be with my boat than not with it, because if I'm not here, I don't know what's going to happen to it. But if I'm here, I mean, I know I'll survive. If the boat goes down, I can swim. But I'm not going to go somewhere else and leave the boat here, because this is everything I own right now. I mean, I can't afford to give it up. Social Security cut my Social Security check off in June, said I'm no longer disabled. I don't know what that means. So they cut my check off. Now I have no income. So if I lose this boat, then I'm back on the street again, and I'm not going to do that.
Jay already refused to abandon ship during Hurricane Helene.
How high did the water get during Helene?
It got to about an inch below the top of the pillar, or the pylon right there.
What was that experience like?
I slept through it.
He's even become sort of a local social media celebrity, with people coming to
Chad.
check in on him. A strange kind of fame, but people do care.
Are you concerned for Jay?
I mean, yeah, I come and check on him every day and brought him a bunch of clothes and food and stuff, water. But I mean, he doesn't want to leave his boat, which I understand. I've tried to like help him get the hotel and stuff, and I started GoFundMe on TikTok that got like $7,000, which I'm gonna be giving him the money soon once it transfers in. But yeah, I mean, I've tried to help him like get to him a safe place. He just doesn't really want to do that. So.
Du schaust ja immer noch Werbung. Warum? Wenn blockiert.
I mean, that's a real American hero right there.
A little mess. Please
No,
forgive the mess.
it's you got it pretty well organized actually.
Well, organization is my thing.
A lot better than me.
Florida man. Yeah.
And so this is where you'll like camp out some food. You have
I sit here,
supplies here.
I sit here, I sleep here, and everything on that side. I got my stove there. I have a box cooler that I have my food in. I got a regular cooler for cold stuff right there. And up in the front where it's too shallow to actually go in there, I use that for storage for my clothes and whatnot.
And where's your water?
Water in those boxes.
I mean, the ideal thing is to get him into a hotel, which people, like a ton of people have been offering. So if we can convince him to put the boat somewhere else and just get him in a hotel, I think that would be the most ideal thing.
I just go to sleep. Every time I got into trouble and I pray to God and I just talk to him, but he always told me, go to sleep, it'll be all right in the morning. I go to sleep, I wake up and it's always better in the morning.
Do you plan on sleeping for Milton?
Oh yeah. I mean, once the boat's over the water and the wind's hitting me on the nose, the boat's gonna be steady, it's gonna be in that direction, and the only thing I gotta worry about is the wind blowing me around a little bit and the tide going up.
Okay.
I'm not concerned.
At least Jay doesn't have to worry about sandbags.
Guys, back up. There's more coming. You gotta leave room. There's enough sand for everybody. Relax and back up.
So you have St. Pete police on sand patrol, like literally having to direct people away from the pile of sand.
The sand, I think, is to block the flood of water right in front of the house or something.
Because there's so many people that are just desperate to get their bags. So it's like he's directing traffic, but it's people with their shovels and their sandbags waiting to fill up what they can. A couple things happening here. You just had Hurricane Helene, which brought in record storm surge to the Tampa Bay area, here in St. Petersburg in particular. And we're basically in the middle of the cone for the next hurricane, Milton. That has motivated people in a way that I've never seen here in St. Petersburg. People are lining up like it's Black Friday for sandbags. They're trying to get their allotment and trying to protect what they had. They just had the example of Hurricane Helene, and so they know that they are vulnerable.
I lost my girlfriend here, but she's somewhere. Oh, there she is. She's struggling. We're filling up as much as we can, you know?
Yeah. Have you guys ever done sandbagging before?
No, never. Definitely acting on the side of precaution, though, you know, so.
Well, I mean, you just saw what happened.
Yeah, we can. I mean, this is right outside of our apartment. This is our apartment complex.
Damn.
So.
Yeah, this is like
Oh,
some end of the world shit that I never
How did
experienced.
You guys fare the last storm? You said there was water close to you, but it wasn't.
It just entered our building. I'll show you the water line, maybe. Yeah, that's.
Oh, okay.
But. So
it's
just
to
made it
block
in,
the flood
and,
of water.
We're definitely going to prepare the same way with them this time.
Oh yeah.
Did you have water the last storm?
The water, yeah.
How bad was it, Helene, for you?
10 years in St. Petersburg, and 2 hurricanes. Oh, well, my family.
Yeah.
Thank you.
¿Tienes miedo?
Mucho miedo.
Me too.
Jacket from Argentina.
Sweater from Peru.
Sweater from Peru.
All the expensive clothes you have?
Jacket from Argentina. Purse from Turkey. Purse from Spain. Purses from Mexico.
And all the important documents and my hard drives are going with you.
Yes. Yeah. Green card. Phone from Mexico.
Green card.
Cars from Mexico.
And for the first time, I'm left to wonder, what will my wife come home to? What will I come home to?
It's kind of crazy. I've never seen my neighbor Dave boarding up his house and tying down his trees before, but Hurricane Milton's serious. If you look on an evacuation map in Pinellas County and St. Petersburg, there's 2 islands in a worst case scenario the storm surge could create, and this neighborhood is on one of those islands. So that's why we're actually not in one of those mandatory evacuation zones that they talk about, but there's a high likelihood that storm surge could cut this area off from the rest of Florida. So, I mean, I sent my wife out of town with all the important documents and hard drives that I have, and then I had to go through my house.
Also, isn't Florida like below sea level, most of it? I think it is. Or rather, is either at the sea level, like barely above the sea level, or is below the sea level. And this causes every time that there is a hurricane to just get flooded if it happens there, right? I think so. I think it's like below or really on the edge. I know that every year that they put sand in the banks, so they have to, like, sand is taken away by the sea every year, and they spend a lot of money to actually rebuild the coastline every year, so to put sand back up, and then sand gets it's because it's below sea level or at the same level, and it's at risk of getting eaten by the sea, so they put every time, you know, this barrier of sand all the times in the coastline. Otherwise they will have either no coastline or they will go under. And it's like, I think Florida is like flat for most of its territory, and only at the very end, tippy top, it has some mountains, just because you're entering, you know, continental US.
And document everything, every item, just in case I do have to make an insurance claim. And that's all you can do. We have to wait to see where the storm goes, but there's the potential this could be the most catastrophic hurricane to ever hit our home here in Tampa Bay. And so I just hope that we all remember, items and things aren't important, people are. And so please, if you can, and you are here, get out of the path. It's just not worth it.
Crazy. Really crazy.